we're ready to create our radial progress bar. So let's go up to the top of the category screen state, and inside our build method, we want to define the variables we're going to need for our radial progress bar. So we need to have the total amount spent, so we know how much of the bar is missing. We need the amount left, so we know how much of the bar is left over. And then we need the percentage, so we know how much of the bar to fill. So first, let's make double total amount spent, and we'll set that equal to 0. Then we'll do widget.category, and we'll access the expenses. And then for each expense, and remember to import expense. And then all we have to do, like we did before, is total amount spent plus equals expense dot cost. The next variable we need to create is the amount left. So final double amount left equals widget dot category dot max amount minus the total amount spent, which is what we just defined. And then the last variable is final double percent, and then we get the percent by doing amount left divided by widget dot category dot max amount. And that's how we're going to know how much of the bar to fill. Now let's scroll back down to our container, and we're going to make a child. First, let's display the center text. So we're going to say center child text. And then for the text here, we're going to escape the $, and then string interpolation, amount left dot to string as fixed 2. And then we'll put a /, escape another $, and then $, widget dot category dot max amount. Hit save, and now we have the money appearing here. And we can style this by doing text style, font size 20.0, and then for the font weight, we're going to set that to semi-bold, so W600. Now, in order to create this radial progress bar, we need to create a custom painter widget. And that custom painter widget, which we'll call radial painter, is going to draw 2 lines. The line underneath is going to be gray, and then the line on top of it is going to be whatever color that's returned by the percent from our getColor function. So inside our widgets, let's make a new file called radial_painter.dart, and we'll make class radial painter extends custom painter, and make sure you import material. And if we hover over radial painter and then click quick fix, we see that we're missing 2 override methods, so we can just click create 2 missing overrides. And then we get the method paint, and the method should repaint. We're going to have should repaint equal to true, because we want the radial painter to always update itself and to change values accordingly based on the expenses here. So if the user adds a new expense, then we want the radial painter to redraw itself. Let's remove the to do here. And before we implement the paint method, we need to create some instance variables. The first one is going to be final color background color, and that's going to be equal to the color here. So that's going to be the light gray color. Next we have color line color, and that's going to be the color of our filled portion. Double percent, and final double width. And make sure to add final before the double for percent here. After this, we need to create the constructor, so radial painter, this dot bg color, this dot line color, this dot percent, and this dot width. And now we're ready to start implementing the painter. So let's remove that. And the first thing we need to create is the background line. So that's going to be paint bg line equals paint. And then instead of doing this and saying bg line.color and then setting this individually, we can do paint instance dot dot color equals bg color, and then another dot dot stroke cap equals stroke cap dot round. And we can just keep chaining dot dots. So another dot dot style equals painting style dot stroke. And then lastly, we need stroke width equal to the width. And the width and background color are the values we passed in here. If we hover over the round in stroke cap dot round, we can see that dot round makes the beginning and the ending of the line a semicircle. Now we also need to create a line for the complete line. So we'll call it complete line. And then instead of background color, this is going to be line color. And then we'll keep these the same. After instantiating our lines, we need to find the center of our painter. So we can do offset center equals offset size.width divided by 2, comma size.height divided by 2. And we get the size value from passing in size to the paint. And size is just equal to the size of our given area to draw out our radial progress bar. Next, we need to calculate a radius. So double radius equals min size.width divided by 2, size.height divided by 2. And this is getting the smaller of the size.width divided by 2 and size.height divided by 2 in the event that our width and height are different sizes. And in order to get rid of the error, we need to hover over min and import Dart Math and hit save. We have Dart Math up here now. Next, we need to actually draw our background line in a circle. And that's really simple to do. We have access to the canvas. So we can say canvas, draw circle. And then we pass in the center, which is the center of our painter. The radius will be the radius we just found. And then the paint will be background line. And we can actually save this right now and go back to our category screen. And in order to make our background line show up on our simulator, we need to wrap our center widget inside a new widget. And we're going to call it custom paint. Custom paint will take in a foreground painter, which is of type custom painter. And we'll just pass in the radial painter that we just created, so make sure to import it. And then we need to pass in the values. So background color, that's colors gray 200. Next we have line color, and we'll call get color. Pass in context, and pass in the percent that we calculated above. Percent will just be percent. And then the width, we'll set that to 15.0. And make sure to import get color from color helper. Now if we hit save, we see that the outer ring appears, just like in the original UI. Let's go back to our radial painter, and we'll draw out the arc here. And that's also pretty simple to do. All we have to do is call canvas.drawArc. And then we need to specify a rect. The rect is the size of the container that we're drawing the arc in. And in this case, we want to draw it inside the bounds of our circle. So we can do that by doing rect.fromCircle. And then we pass in the center, which is what we just defined above, and the radius. Now the start angle represents the angle where we want to start drawing our line at. And in this case, we'll make it negative pi divided by 2, because we want to start at the very top, right here. Our sweep angle is the value in radians of how far we're going to draw the curve. So let's actually calculate this right above here. And we'll say double sweep angle equals 2 times pi times the percent. And then use center, we'll set that equal to false. And then paint, we'll make that complete line. Now if we hit save, we see that we have $173.45 out of 500, and the radial progress bar accurately indicates that. If we wanted the bar to start down here, then we can just remove the negative here, and now it's going this way in the clockwise direction. If we wanted the bar to start from the right side, then we can set this to 0, and then if we want the bar to be on the left hand side in the middle, then we can just put pi. But in our case, we want the bar to start at the very top. So we'll do -pi divided by 2. I hot restarted the app so we can look at different values. And we can click into food. We see that the bar accurately depicts how much money we have left. Same with entertainment. And one more thing I can show you guys is if this is set equal to true, and we save that, and go into any of these, what happens is that the ends of the bar connect up to the center. So that's why we set it equal to false. So that doesn't happen.